and it's still, the little machine is going. Here it goes. It's going to pop up any minute. Great. And then I pin myself so that no one has to see you guys. I mean, you're all very, very lovely, but you guys don't want to be seen by the YouTube world, I'm guessing. So, and feel free to turn off your videos while we do this. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Also, today is November 6th, Thursday. It is our noontime, Pacific noontime meditation time together. I will be leading us through. It's a little late after the hour. I normally start closer to the hour, but things are, yeah, the Eventbrite's a little wacky doodle. The Zoom is a little wacky doodle. Hopefully we'll be okay. And speaking of Zoom, I'm just going to open my window. I'll be right back. I don't know if you could hear my big, beautiful bell, but I have this big, beautiful bell from Big Sur that I love. So, oh my God, the door's closing again. It's one of those days, you guys. You know what? I'm breathing. I'll be right back. This is what a regular person looks like who's attempting to have some Zen mindfulness in their day. It's raw and real always in my portal. So welcome to it, folks. All right, here we go. Natalie, I'm going to mute you just so that everything is quiet. Okay, landing. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Carlin-McCall. I am a writer, first and foremost. I am someone who's been practicing the Thich Nhat Hanh path of mindfulness meditation since 1997, when I had the courage to show up at a live retreat finally after quite a few years of reading and studying um, all sorts of paths and teachers in order to help me with my anxiety. At the time, I still was working with some panic attack issues. And so I'm super grateful that I get to share what I've learned over these last almost 30 years, which is mind blowing, and to walk you through it. If you're new to this sort of practice, welcome. I think I'm a good beginner teacher, so I'm excited you're here. And if you know me through other means, my father might be one of them. Welcome. And I also have a deep love of Jungian psychology. That's Carl Jung psychology. I got my master's in it about 20 years ago. And that led me along a path of wanting to use my life story and my own healing journey to help others with their both life stories and healing journeys. And so out of that came some training and credentialing around life coaching, which loathe that term. It's just doesn't say what it is. And it's something that my dad would make fun of for sure. And yet also my dad knows the power of being able to have someone hold space and time for you, for anyone to unpack their inner story and how it gets in their way. So between my longing to share all of that, I began 7 years ago on a healing journey of my own around learning to be an entrepreneur in the world, which has been a really, really incredible learning and healing journey for me with all sorts of aspects of myself. I created something called Women on the Verge, which is now Humans on the Verge. And in that space, I share the healing modalities and the systems that have helped me understand my inner story better and helped me move more into my, and this is a word we're all going to hate also, authentic self in my life, but really is about moving the furniture out of our way that gets in our way of being who we know we're here to be on this planet. And some of us have to heal through some trauma to get to that place. And then after the trauma is more settled down, you can really do some other work. And that's the work I do, is the post-trauma discovery of self and experimenting with being more yourself out loud, but just truer to yourself. And when I say out loud, I don't mean you have to be on a stage or anything like that, just out loud in the world. So that's who I am. And I welcome everyone who is here today in my Zoom room. And if you are here on YouTube, thank you for being here, however you found me here today. What we're going to do now, it's a quarter after the hour, is we're going to spend about 20 to 25 minutes in our practice of mindfulness meditation. And I'm going to ring a bell. I have this big, beautiful bell here. It's not the biggest bell, but it's a nice big bell. And when I go to ring the bell, I'm going to touch the bell first with the striker. And that is something we called inviting the bell. And that lets your mind and nervous system know that the bell sound is going to come soon. But it is a being in relationship with the bell, because part of what we do with the bell is, in my practice in the Thich Nhat Hanh lineage, and I'm just changing my speaker here just so you guys get the most sound out of the bell, is there's this beautiful little gata that Thich Nhat Hanh says with the bell and trained us to say, and I'm not doing it word for word, but I just found out that it was one of his favorite little mantra gatas to say. And so what I do is, before I hit the bell, I say to myself, and I will say it to you now, I send my heart out with the sound of this bell so that it may find you and help you move through obstacles and anything that gets in your way. It's kind of the gist of the gata. I will get the real wording of it and share it with you later. But I love that. I love the part where I will send my heart out with the sound of this bell in order to ease the suffering of the world. So I invite you, as we listen to the bell, to receive that, but also know that as I am sending out the bell, we are sending out collectively, all of us who are sitting here together, our hearts out to the world, to all who are suffering in this moment. All right, so I will invite the bell and then I will ring it, and then I will walk us through some meditation. Okay. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels more comfortable. And if you want to keep your eyes open a little bit, if it's easier for you, I just invite you to look down somewhere on the ground or in front of you and just keep your eyes softly focused on that one place. And I also invite you to have your feet flat on the floor, unless you are sitting in a lotus position, which means that you are grounded by both your sit bones and the back of your thighs. But I do invite you to have your feet flat, both flat on the ground. And I'm just going to bring us into awareness of the body here. So let's first concentrate on those sit bones, how we were sitting in the chair, and feel the weight of our body in the chair. And just noticing where the chair meets the legs and the buttocks. Noticing the weight of the body being held up by chair. How the chair is supporting you. And I invite you to have your back straight, not rigid, not tense, but imagining that there's a magical thread at the top of your head, and just it's just pulling ever so slightly. For those of you who take yoga, you know what I'm talking about. So letting your spine be straight, because that does help the breathing. It also just helps you feel more like a sovereign in your own life and in this world. So letting that be present. Maybe you have a little back cushion, feeling that. Maybe feeling arms on some arms of a chair, feeling supported by chair. And then noticing feet on ground, how your feet are touching ground, the pressure of ground against feet. And noticing how chair and feet are, and you are being supported by ground, earth. Even if you're 70 stories up a skyscraper, earth is still supporting you and building. So just noticing and allowing for that. And let's sit here for a moment, focusing on this sensation of being supported by earth. And then noticing that your mind may have already wandered away from the focus. And my invitation, and the invitation of mindfulness practice, is to bring the mind back to the focus, but do it with loving kindness. Do it with the same amount of heart that you would have with a puppy or a toddler who had wandered off and needed to be refocused. So let's practice that now for a few minutes together here. Letting ourselves retrieve our mind lovingly back to the focus of being supported by earth here, body touching chair. Knowing that you may have to bring your mind back 50 times in a minute. It's all okay. Now I'm going to invite you to witness your breath. There are a few ways that you may notice that you can witness your breath. You may feel your torso moving up and down, or your belly moving in and out. Or you can feel the temperature of the air change as you breathe in and out through your nostrils or mouth. So let's just focus on breath for a few minutes together. I'm going to give us 3 minutes to do this together. Again, recovering, refocusing mind when it wanders, goes to Disneyland or lunch, back to the breath. Nothing to control with the breath, nothing to do with it. Just letting yourself organically breathe and witness. Let's turn our witnessing attention now to sound, because I noticed my wind chimes going. You may hear them, but whether you can or not, I want to invite you now to focus your attention on sound. And the sound I want you to focus on is I want you to look for or sense or hear for what could be the furthest away sound. And let's just spend a minute or so witnessing the furthest away sound in our environment. And now let's witness a sound that is closest to us. Gently bringing your attention back to the sound that is closest. No judgment, just a lot of warm, loving kindness, like a warm uncle or auntie might give to a toddling niece or nephew. And now I'm going to ask you to focus on the sensation of touch again, but we're going to use our own hands to do that. So I'm going to invite you to put your left hand out, palm up. You can open your eyes and look. And you're going to use your right hand to investigate with your eyes closed this hand. So let's do that together. And very lightly touch. Let the right hand touch the left hand and just notice and focus solely on the sensation of skin, investigating skin. Noticing the cracks, the crevices, the fingerprints. Now slowly letting your left hand become the investigator of the right hand, switching roles. And then let's bring the hands together and let the 10 fingertips touch and let them slowly explore each other's fingerprints. And then slowly letting the whole hand, palms, fingers, touch. Letting just enough curiosity be present that it won't take your brain off into the la la land, but enough curiosity so that you stay with the sensations meeting, the skin touching. And now let's put our hands back on our thighs or in our lap and come back to the breath. Giving yourself permission to let go of all thought, mind. To let breath be the whole universe. Let yourself be the breathing of the universe. Just breathing. Let yourself be the breath and be the breathing. Let yourself just be the witnessing one, the one who is watching. And from this space, imagine someone or something that you love with all of your heart. Make it a really easy thing to love. Maybe your pet or your child or your beloved. And let yourself feel your heart open. It could be a place in nature, a friend, an artist or thinker or creator who you admire and really understand or feel seen in. Let your heart open. And let this opening heart send this unconditional, full on love out to those who live around you in your neighborhood. And then the wider area of the part of town you live in. Knowing your heart goes out in 360 degrees. Let it cover your whole city. Reaching those who are in need of being seen and heard, who may be suffering today. And imagining this heart is infinite as it is, and just let it move wider and wider until it is covering the entire globe. And noticing as it does that, that it will return back to you in every direction. And let your receiving heart receive this love. That is the universal love, unconditional love. Is something beyond instinct and our hardwiring. It is a way that only human consciousness knows how to love. And let it be freely pouring out of you and receiving from your own body and heart. And know that whatever needs to be loved inside of you today, it might be a part of you that has felt lost or has been hidden or is just having a shitty day. Know that that part is receiving this love also. That this part is feeling seen and heard, witnessed by not only yourself, but by all of us here in this circle who are sending our hearts out. Our love is also spanning the globe right now. And know that there are probably thousands of people right now in a loving kinding meditation here on the planet, also sending their love out. And then even those who are not even consciously doing loving kindness meditation right now, all of those who have active big hearts, know that their hearts are also participating in this. And then this is a stretch, and I will admit it, but it is part of my practice. All of those who you would deem unable to have an open heart or love, know that within them there is a small child who had their heart shut down at some point in their life and has never learned to open it and is suffering deeply because of that wound. But know that that small child within them, however young they were, came onto this earth with the capability to have a loving, open heart. And it might be the smallest heart and the smallest beat, but that it is as real as your big open heart right now. And know that all of nature that holds us in her heart, in her abundance, in her ever, ever giving abundance, reflects back to us the abundance of love through all that we give and gain from her. And so, with that, I would like to invite you all as I ring the bell to end the meditation. If you are comfortable in any way, to internally or with your own body to bow to this love that is real and is here for us today and in this moment. Thank you, Leslie. It's so groovy when the heart goes up the screen like this. Oh, it's so beautiful. These crazy little technology things that we have, and yet it is right. It's what we're doing. We're sending our little heart emoji out into the world. Oh, hmm. I don't want to shift the energy too much. I want to invite this energy to stay here. And I am here for the next 18 minutes to share anything about anything that I have knowledge about, which some of you are new to me, so don't know my full bag of tricks, but I have a lot of them. So I have creative tricks, I have self-healing tricks, I have, and I don't mean tricks, you know what I mean, tools. I just did like the Edward Scissorhand thing, like, I have tools. So if anyone is curious about any of those tools, if you're on YouTube right now, you can make a comment in the YouTube comments area, or you in the chat here in the Zoom room, you can certainly, and I'm just looking down because I'm getting my YouTube open here. You can certainly ask a question or an inquiry about anything, or you can come off mute, and or you can turn your camera on. There's all the variations of it. Welcome, Brandy, who was on the YouTube. I just looked down here. Nice to have you here. 11 minutes after the hour, so you made it in time. I was delayed bigly too. So, so from that meditation and whatever else, is there anything that anyone wants to bring up in the space today? That's what I'm here for. And if not, we will end early and we will all get on with our day. Yes, Natalie, great, has a question. Beautiful. Before the meditation, you were talking to me a little bit about the voices or saboteurs in our head. Do you have any resources to share on that topic? I do. I, first of all, this is the part of the work I do. It's called shadow work. So I am a resource for that. And I have a world. It's called Humans on the Verge, which, if you're interested in finding out more about that, Natalie, I can certainly talk to you about that privately. But just so you know, we have a couple of do-it-yourself courses around this. We have some groups that we have that do this shadow work. I also do it with people individually. And we have someone in our community, her name is Avery, who is trained and is a certified master in a technique called positive intelligence that works with the saboteurs a little bit like we did today around sensory stuff. Because of my Jungian psychology training, I work with them also more archetypally and see them as archetypes within the self. So we do a process called voice dialogue, where we talk directly to some of these voices that are more immature, not quite fully witnessed, not fully conscious aspects of the self. I also do dream work around this. There's a lot of people, though, that have written great books about this work. And if you type in shadow work and go to bookshop.org, I recommend shadow work. There's a couple of people who have done some big work on the shadow. One of my favorite authors around this is someone named James Hollis. He's also a Jungian, and the shadow is a Jungian concept. So Carl Jung actually introduced this idea. Freud introduced the idea, all those guys introduced the idea of the unconscious, but Jung in particular started talking about the shadow and what to do with it. And a lot of the work we do through Jungian psychology, we call it archetypal psychology now, is we do something called active imagination. So you can have someone hold space with you to dialogue with the voice. You can do dream work to do that. You can do the dialoguing yourself, but it does help to have a little bit of training and a little bit of understanding of how to do the work. And it really does help also to have someone actually hold the space for you while you're doing it. But once you get a little good at it, you can do it on your own. So there's a James Hollis book, and I'm trying to remember it. I'm just going to go to my bookshelf. I'll be right back. Hold on, I'm right here. Um, where is my Hollis stuff? Uh, yeah. Oh, boy. I don't have the actual title that I'm thinking of. There's also another gentleman who's been has created his own system in this work. His name is Richard Schwartz, and he has a book out called There Are No Bad Parts. He does, yes, Natalie, that is James Hollis spelled that way. And if I Google it, I can find you the title of the James Hollis book. The Richard Schwartz one, he has his own system with talking with the parts. And he has his own world also where he sells courses and coaching and facilitating and all that kind of stuff too. I love his stuff. I've read his books. It's the work I'm trained in through my master's in psychology. That we didn't call it, he calls it inner family systems. We kind of called it that too. He stands on the shoulders of all these people too that I work with. Yes, it is internal family systems. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. So you're totally you're in the right you're in the right vibe. Um and yeah, I mean, and this work is really, I believe, why I'm so dedicated to it. First of all, it helped me enormously learn to be with all the younger parts of myself that have a lot of needs and everything and kept getting in my way, and really to really heal them and love them and to grow them up too. So it's helped me enormously. But I really do feel that the planet is in a very interesting place right now where it is our work to do our own shadow work and to pull our projections back, because we are in the pickle we are in as a country in particular, but certainly as a species, because we don't do enough of our own shadow work and we're projecting all of our stuff onto that. And what's interesting too about the Buddhist aspect of this is that kind of the Buddhist world has an idea of like there are the 10,000 voices inside of us, and we are all the voices, including the darkest, most shadowy figures there are. There's a beautiful poem by Thich Nhat Hanh called Call Me by My True Name, and where he walks through it, and he's both the human trafficker and the young teenage girl that's been raped. Like he knows that we in the end we are all these figures. They all live within inside of us. So it is bringing consciousness to all of them. And these more darker figures, uh, when we give them space to be, and we do this with dream work a lot too, we see that the most shadowy, nightmare, darkest figures are ones that live out of fear. And they're all from survival mode. They're all from the most primal part of our survival instincts, that part of our nervous system that's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn is the new one they talk about. I'm a codependent. I'm a fawner. Hey, hey, what can I do for you? Can I make you feel okay? Don't harm me. I'll do anything. Women are taught to fawn, right? So yeah. So, but when we grow these parts up, and they're not just the most basic primal part of our nervous system, and we hear what they actually need, they have treasure for us also. They have perspective for us that no other part of ourself does. So that's why the shadow work is so powerful, because it's not banishing the part of ourself. It's actually learning to be in dialogue and inviting it at a seat at the table in a way when it's more grown up and mature version of itself. So I do a technique called voice dialogue that I learned from my Zen master teacher, Genpo Roshi, where we talk to all the ego voices, all of these shadow parts, but then we also talk to the voice of the transcendent, the enlightened one, and we become the enlightened one in that work too. So these are some of the tools I use to help people in my community and some of my one-on-one clients. And like I said, we also have um, a group, people who meet monthly, and we do this work as a group. So lots of yummy, yummy stuff there. And I'm really, really excited that you're exploring this aspect. For me, it has been everything in my healing. And all of my clients also who work with me, um, this is the work they do. And we do it together. And that's the thing too, is being in a group setting. And Gina is here on the call, and Gina's been a client of mine and in my community, an important member of my community for 6+ years now. Um, One of the things about doing it in a group is it's scary to do it in a group. Um, but it is also where we learn that holy fuck, everyone else in the group has these same thoughts, has a part of them that is, whatever, the most shameful part, the most part, the most angry part, whatever it is, we all have it, right? Because we're all human. This is how we come in wired. And when you're in a group doing the work, you risk the vulnerability to show these parts. The group holds you in a very unconditional space. There's no judging here because we're all doing it. And that witnessing by the other, this is why talk therapy works, but it's why shadow works also so beautifully in group. When we're witnessed by the other or someone with outside eyes, and the world does not fall apart, and we are not seen as the worst thing we could possibly think we are, man, there is a powerful alchemical transformation thing that goes on. And it's potent. It's potent stuff. I love it. I'm so grateful that I followed my own instincts and went and got my master's in Jungian psychology, even though I knew I would never be a therapist, but I knew I would be able to help people with this. And for me, it's always been about getting out of my own way so that I could be a creative, so that I could express myself. I could write my solo show. I could be myself out loud. And I'm still doing that work, Natalie, and everyone else here. I'm 62. I have just shed another layer recently this last year For those of you who are on my mailing list, I've talked about my identity crisis. I've talked a little bit about it on my podcast. Um, I have been shedding again too, and I am also revealing and becoming more vulnerable and talking more about my spiritual life, how I see the things, the systems I use, the invisible, irrational that my rational side is always skeptical about and rolls its eyes at. But I know that when I do the dream work, when I do the imaginal work, when I do the parts work, when I do the energy work, uh, shit changes. So that is my all in spiel for shadow work for everybody here. So any questions, more questions, Natalie, from you? Or I see also CJ is like, love to explore. Yes. So if anybody wants to know more about coming into our community and the offerings I have, the first thing to do is to go to my website, humansontheverge.com. And you can see we have a creative silo, Holly Payberg Torrio. She teaches the writing. There's some writers here in the space. Steve is in that space. Leslie was here earlier. She's in that space. But it's more than writing. It's really calming yourself down enough to feel safe enough to express yourself. But she's got a writing portal. And then really my side is more about calming ourselves down enough, loving ourselves enough to be fully expressed in our life in every area. But if you go to the website, a get on my mailing list thing will pop up. Please get on my mailing list so that you can also hear about what I'm up to. And if you've gone through Eventbrite, you might be on my mailing list already. Um, and if and on the website, if you want to have a discovery call with me, we can certainly do that, and I can tell you more, particularly what we do at Humans on the Verge and the different ways we have to support people in their own adventures of self-discovery and self-love and becoming more fully expressed. So that is that. Oh, lovely. Lovely that you're a writer too. Well, yeah, great. Holly's, I call her the writing witch. She got me out of my writing block about 3 years ago. And we do a couple of weekends. We're going to do our first weekend of the year in February, which is a really potent weekend, online, virtual. But if you come into our world, and then we have, just so you know, Natalie and anyone else who's here, and Steve is here. He's a part of this level of our group. It's called, it's just our kind of our Humans on the Verge kind of basic community space. But in that, you get something called the daily practice. And in that daily practice, Holly leads it. It's 1 hour a day. It's 8 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Pacific. So wherever you are in the middle of that, whatever time that is for you, it's 2 times a morning. It's an hour long. Holly comes on. She picks a card, inspiring card. She sets us off. We head to heart, go off. Most of us do our writing time there, but other people do things like journaling or, you know, it's your me time basically, but we're all in community on Zoom together, co-working. And then we come back after the hour and we kind of just share a little bit. So then you're in our world. It's super, super affordable. I think it's 20 or 25 bucks a month. I can't remember what it is. I think you get the first month free. But then you're in our world and you can kind of hang out. You get discounts for things and you get to interact with Holly and myself and Avery more. And we do, we have some other events there that are free for our insider people, um, on top of the free public events we give. So that is all of our offerings. I just invite you all to come be part of the daily practice, kind of dip your toe into our world. The end of the year, we're going to do Gathering the Gifts, which is a year-end practice where we really gather the gifts of the year. And then in January, we do another practice together called Light Your Year on Fire. These are both public events where we kind of set up ourselves for our dreams and longings for the year and what we want to move into. And then we move into like a really beautiful unpacking of different offerings throughout the year. Yeah, Steve says the daily practice is fun and inspiring, and we would love more men to join. Steve right now is like one of our soul guys in the space, and he's just so lovely and so wonderful. But uh, we're always looking for more males to come in because we know that you guys need a space to also take off your mask and open your hearts and all of that. And not that you don't do that in your real life, but it's just a really safe space. So that is what we do over in my world. And I'm just excited that Natalie, that you're doing the shadow work, that you're interested in it. It's cool stuff. In fact, if you guys, I'm just gonna do this real quick just so you're here. Obviously, you can go to our website. I think it's on there, but let me just give you the link for the daily practice space so you can come into our world. Let me just put it in the chat here in case you're just like, hey, yeah, fuck it, let's just do it today. Let me just look for the one that I need to go to. Uh, I'm gonna go plan A to Z, and here we go. And we're gonna get you. It's taking its slow ass time. Okay, here we go. The village membership. Uh, yeah. I don't know if it's first month free or not, but it basically gives you two choices. It's 25 bucks a month, or you can pay for the whole year. Um, and let me just get you a link to this thing if I can find that. And there it is. Okay, boom. And like I said, you get some discounts off of our weekends and things like that too. We'd love to have you all. Oh my God, it's 101. I get to eat lunch now. I think I have the rest of the day off. And yeah, enjoy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the question, Natalie. Great question. Uh, and the James Hollis book, Natalie, let me just do that really quick before we end here too, because I really want to get you this James Hollis list of his books. He's very, very abundant. So there's one called Why Good People Do Bad Things, Understanding Our Darker Selves. That's a lovely kind of primer on shadow work. And he's a great writer too, so fully accessible. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here again. And I'll see you next week. I'm around, so I'll see you next week. All right, bye. Bye, Gina. Bye, everyone.